And I think people, they're wondering, when is the best time of year to go?
People, if they're like, oh, I'm going spring break or I'm going over fall break, those are times that, of course, are going to be busy because kids are out of school. Most people don't take their kids out of school the last month of school or the first month of school, like two of the shoulder seasons. But kind of a secret, if you can stay one more day, you'll have one more park day and it won't feel like you have to hurry and, that you're all stressed out.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Guiding You Forward podcast. I'm Crystalina Brown with Mountain America Credit Union. And today we have Jen Dunyan with us from Getaway Today. Hi, Jen.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, here we are. We're in winter.
Yes.
Get me on a vacation, Jen.
We need a vacation now more than ever.
Yes. And all you skiers are happy. Some of us that don't do that, we need to book a vacation.
Absolutely. It's time. I'm ready to help you.
Okay, perfect.
Right now.
Let's do it. Tell us what's going on. Obviously, for many people, we think of Getaway Today, immediately Disney.
It's true.
Right?
It's true.
It just comes to mind. So what's happening right now at Disneyland, Disney World, all the things?
Okay. We're excited for this year. So excited. First off, like you said, it's sunshine. It's not snow. So
Yes.
We love that part about it. But it is Disneyland's 70th anniversary, and they celebrate so well, especially their big birthdays and milestones. And it continues through this summer. So you have a little bit more time to still get to experience. And do you want me to kind of run through some of the favorites?
Let's do it. Yeah.
Okay.
What's going on for this 70th celebration?
Okay. So I think where everyone lost their minds, they brought back Paint the Night on Main Street and through the main parade route. And Paint the Night, have you seen that parade before?
I don't know if I have.
Okay.
What is Paint the Night?
The song is the When Can We Do This Again from Wreck-It Ralph. I shouldn't be singing
yes.
that. It's the most upbeat, fun song. And it's an evening parade that you get to see the lights that are just... They're amazing. It's LED lights. It's so breathtaking. People loved the Main Street Electrical Light Parade, but this is 20 times higher level, maybe 100 times, as many times as it could be. It's so well done, so fun, so upbeat, and it's a favorite. And so that's probably one of my favorite things about it. They have a new fireworks show, the Wondrous Journeys that they brought back, that is so incredible. You get to see the fairy fly. You get to see Wreck-It Ralph fly.
Cool.
Or no, it's not. It's the big white. I'm calling him the wrong name, but you get lots of things fly. So watch that.
Okay.
See who's going to fly through the sky. That's really fun. Also, you've got just more entertainment. Like I said, stage shows. This year too, there's some surprises that are happening, but Bluey is going to be in the parks. And so that's kind of a big deal. Everyone loves Bluey. And that's going to be at both parks, World and Land. We don't have all the details totally, but he's surprising us here and there. So that'll be a lot of fun. But both parks, like I said, Disney California Adventure has a lot of celebrations happening. And just their classic of favorites are just looking better than ever. So it's a fun year to go. I always like to go when it's a celebration year because you just get the regular fun things you love, but just an extra layer of magic.
Yeah, I love that. And, my favorite part is the food.
Oh my heck. Should we just talk food for now the rest of the show?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
So they change their menu all the time. I'm so impressed. So the first of the year, you'll have Lunar New Year, and they're going to have just so many different types of cuisine that is so fun to see. And they celebrate just that whole culture. It's so fun. So I love that. Then you have Food and Wine Festival that's right after that has another, just all these different tapas sizes of really gourmet foods. And there's always some favorites that people love or some others that people just don't love. So it's so fun to kind of hear everybody's opinions. But then just in addition to that, there's food all the time. The churros are changing all the time. Yeah. You've got your classic favorites, but we go as a family and everyone's well, we got to have our cream cheese pretzel and we've got to have our Dole Whip, but also we've got to try these 30 other things. And it's just really fun. And they have a lot of convenience things. We don't talk a lot about the things they do to make it easy, but their mobile ordering is so great. And so it's almost a challenge of mine to see how little I can wait for everything at the parks, but even food. You could be just finishing Indiana Jones and you can be ordering your Bengal barbecue skewers and walk out and just look like such a hero to your family because they walk in, there's and here's your delicious lunch and your food. And it's just, there's so much technology too that makes the vacation so fun. So yeah, I love the food. I love challenging myself to never wait for food or attractions as well. And I know we'll talk about Lightning Lane as well, but it's fun that they have so many things to maximize your vacation time.
Yeah. So if we don't know all of these amazing tips about mobile ordering and, making our our stay at Disneyland and California Adventure just that awesome of an experience, your team knows.
Yes. So follow us on social immediately because I feel like if you think you're going to go to Disneyland, we sell it we talk about it really simply on our Instagram. Like there's so many like really fancy accounts. Ours is more like, okay, rope drop means you get there an hour before the park. You get to security at this time. You do these things.
Yes.
We make it really simple and dumbed down. And our team does the same. Like they really want to make it so you feel like you're a total pro. And there's just little things you can do differently to make sure you know all those things. So yes, that's our job, to make sure you feel totally prepared. And it makes it so much more fun when you've done a little research with our teams hand in hand to just have that maximized trip.
So when it comes to Lightning Lane, we're buying this with our ticket. It gives us access into rides faster.
Okay.
Tell me more about
We'll just
Lightning
start
Lane.
from ground one.
Okay.
So what Lightning Lane is it's a separate lane for certain attractions at the park, quite a few of them, especially at Disneyland. And it is a separate line that you reserve on the app. It kind of, if you remember what FastPass used to be
Absolutely.
very
Yes.
similar to that. But it's something that you have to have a certain ticket to be able to use that lane. So what you do is on the app, when you get in the park, you can start making those reservations, and it can do one at a time.
Okay.
And you can do your next reservation either when you've ridden that attraction or an hour from when you set that first reservation. So it's kind of fun. Before with FastPass, remember you had to kind of like scan your ticket and someone in the family would be running around. This is all done from the app, so it keeps your party together. It really is a great shortcut for time, because what you can do is reserve your place in line, and while that's happening, you can go and watch some entertainment or go shopping or eat some delicious food. So it really just maximizes your day. I like to get to the parks early. I feel like there's lots of vacations for sleeping in. Like Disneyland's not really that one. And I know you know this too. Like we like to get there an hour before the park opens, get through security, be at the gate, one of the first ones in, and then they call it rope drop. Like I said it to someone the other day and they were like, "What is rope drop?" I'm like, "Oh, that's not like common knowledge." So I'm like, I rope drop everything now. So no, but what it means is the workers hold a rope up and you're standing there. And when it hits the park hours, like let's say it opens at 8 a.m., then they'll drop the rope and you can go to one of your favorite attractions. And so one interesting thing for this year is kind of a game changer. Like, I haven't told a lot this. I mean, some people know about it, but the hotels at the Disneyland Resort for 2026 don't have an early entry anymore. Okay. So it used to be that like 90% of our guests, 99% of our guests, they stay at the neighboring hotels at Disneyland because there's just so many of them.
Yeah.
That they'd have to then, like a half hour as they're waiting in line, they'd see this group of people like run by them and they'd be like, why are they going? And like they were hotel guests, which is a great perk of those. But it's not happening next year. So everybody just got like this major advantage. So I'm we'll see how this all plays out. But I feel like for our guests, they're going to be thrilled to just now, when that rope drops, they get to go wherever they want. No one's budge them in line. Like they're just getting to go for that. So I like to rope drop Indiana Jones just because it's my favorite attraction. And I just, even though I'll have it on Lightning Lane, because we were talking about Lightning Lane. Sorry, I just got onto the rope drop.
Great.
But what I would say with Lightning Lanes, you don't have to use them in the morning. Use rope drop, go on all the attractions you want that have no lines, and then see when the Lightning Lanes are starting to fill up. And that's when I start setting them. And so you can set a Lightning Lane and it resets when you ride that attraction or an hour later. So like if I went on Big Thunder Mountain, let's say I set my first one for 10:30. I could ride that and then set my other one. Or if I set it at 9:15, I could set it at 10:15 the next one. So it sounds confusing, but it's pretty it's pretty easy in the app. You just go to the tip board and you plan it. And so if you have a park hopper, you get to ride all the attractions that have Lightning Lane in Disneyland and Disney California Adventure in a day.
That's incredible.
Which feels like you just get so much for your money. But there are some attractions that will go faster, like Guardians of the Galaxy, because everyone loves that. Yeah. And then also like Indiana Jones. And so kind of get those ones earlier on so you don't have a problem. But other rides like Goofy Sky School in the evening, you'll be just fine to just set that. And so you'll see like, oh, there's a 30-minute wait. Oh, I can do my Lightning Lane. Boop, I just walk right on. So it's really nice.
Yeah. So definitely worth
I think it's worth it. Like, I mean, I like to have it. I also like a park hopper. A lot of our guests don't go that often. So I just say, you know what, if you are going to go, like try to have all the tools to have the very best experience. That's the same with like adding one more day to your stay. Like people, if they're like, oh, I'm going during spring break or I'm going over fall break. Those are times that of course are going to be busy because kids are out of school.
Yeah.
And so I just, if you can stay one more day, like you'll have one more park day and you'll just it won't feel like you have to hurry and, that you're all stressed out.
Yeah, rush through all the things.
Yeah. And then some people go a lot. And so they're like, hey, to me, this time I'm going for the Halloween time and I want to see the decor, or, I'm really excited about the food and wine festival. So it just kind of depends. We can help. Again, our job is to listen and to make sure we customize that vacation for your needs.
Well, and I think people, right, they're wondering, when is the best time of year to go?
That's the number one question we
Yes.
get. I know. And so that would be my tip, that adding an extra day makes any time you go the best time. Because it's like, let's say your birthday is May 3rd, that's my birthday. May is a fabulous time. It's one of the slowest months at the resort. Same with September, because kids are in school. Most people don't take their kids out of school the last month of school or the first month of school. They seem a little more comfortable 2 months in or something.
Yeah.
But those are two of the shoulder seasons. But kind of a secret is summertime at Disneyland isn't busy anymore because they block out all of the people that have the Magic Key passes. Those are their annual local passes. People outside of the state can buy them too. But because of that, you can go in July a lot of times and have less wait, and they have longer park hours. So I hate to be go this date, and that will be because usually when people say, when should I go? It means when it'll be less crowded. But some people they like holiday celebrations or Halloween time, and so I'd steer them those directions. But if you do go a busier time, note that there will be the longest park hours, so at least that helps.
Yeah.
And then maybe add one more day. And these tools like Lightning Lane and Park Hopper to just maximize your experience.
And your mobile ordering for your food.
And eat everything. Save that before. And you can't bring snacks, of course. So maybe feed the toddlers snacks and you get yourself some delicious gourmet churro of some sort.
Yeah, yes. I love that. How fun. But with Lightning Lane, we want to buy this ahead of time. So we're downloading the app, we're getting there for rope drop, and we're buying, is it with my ticket?
Yeah. It's called, and it's just as, if you're buying it in a package, you'll just add on the Lightning Lane, or if you're looking on our ticket page, you'll just choose the ones that have Lightning Lane. And you can do it with one park per day Lightning Lane or Park Hopper Lightning Lane. And a lot of guests, they're a little bit worried about cost, which, it's an investment to go to the Disney resorts for sure. They will just do the one park per day with Lightning Lane. And I think that still works because if you don't go often, you don't need to, I think, have a park hopper. My kids would be we're not going on Guardians after Indiana because we're close to that part of the park. They go enough that they want to go back and forth.
Right.
But first timers, if you conquer one park in a day, that's a great experience. But I would prioritize Lightning Lane over Park Hopper. Okay. I guess is what I'm trying to get at with that.
Yeah, okay.
But if you can get both, it's worth the splurge.
Okay, perfect. I love that.
But I should say, Disney does, it can seem like a higher price point, but then my friends are going to concerts and things, and it's a 2 or 3 hour experience. And you at Disney can get from 8 a.m. to midnight. You get all that time, all that entertainment, all of the attractions. And it's it prices lower, ski resorts. I know we've mentioned that. They're expensive. Things entertainment does have a cost to it. So it is nice that Disney, at least, I feel gives you so many hours to experience it and so much for your money.
For some of these other parks this year, though, tell me, you had mentioned with Disney World, there's some amazing things happening this year.
Yeah. So Disney World, like I said, it's just the biggest world. And one of my favorite things is the food. And they have got an awesome option for families. For next year, they have kids dine free with our vacation packages. So when you're doing hotel and tickets with us, we have this amazing option, which I love it because I think going to the fun restaurants, it's a little different if you've been at Disneyland. There's only a few reservations that you might make, like Blue Bayou or, maybe go really big and go Napa Rose or Lamplight Lounge. But in World, there are just dozens and dozens of restaurants and character dining experiences. And it really adds to your vacation to have those. And our team can help you with all those reservations. So having that Kids Dine Free is just a wow factor. And they have so many seasonal celebrations. They have just the new attractions. They've been on this 5-year plan of so many new things opening. It's everything's done now. Everything's ready to go. And it's top notch. And I love their resorts. So if you can stay at one of their properties, especially their deluxe properties, they really tell a story. Animal Kingdom Lodge, you can be out on your balcony and you'll see a giraffe and you'll see all this wildlife just right out there. And then you go to the park that day and you see the safari and you just really feel immersed in the stories. And it's amazing.
That's so fun. And we can plan this in advance with you.
Yes, absolutely. So it's perfect time. January is our biggest booking season. Okay. The whole year, we've got layaway plans. So you don't have to pay for it right now because we just had Christmas. So you might not want to have all the cash right now, but you can make payments towards your vacation. A lot of times the most popular seasons for travel are the holidays and Halloween time. And so you can plan that now, make payments towards your vacation. Really the 70th ends in the summer, but you'll have then the holidays and Halloween time. And if you're going to Florida, they have a celebration year round. And they also have separate party tickets so we can help you with in Florida at Walt Disney Disney World. So if you wanted to do the holiday celebrations or their Mickey's Not So Scary Party, those are all things that we can help add to your vacation. And most of our Florida guests do add on a party event, which is awesome. So it just kind of back to the after hour events. That should be my first tip I told you about Walt Disney World.
Yeah.
I did that last year at Hollywood Studios. Hollywood Studios, I usually don't get to do it right because I'm there for work. And so I'll get there midday and I'm like, oh, it's just a little bit busier and it's harder to ride many attractions. So I went to this after hours party. It started at, you have a mix-in period, but then the park closes and it's just for the guests that have purchased this ticket.
Okay.
It's all you can eat treats. And so it's like popcorn, ice cream bars, drinks. What else? They had tons of good food. But you could pretty much just walk fast, I guess, onto all the different attractions. I rode Toy Story Mania 4 times, like in a row.
Goodness.
And I'm like, this is like a dream. Like this was, and they weren't that expensive. Like they're really priced well. And so I would say if you're going to Florida, add one of these after hour events. The ones that are the holiday celebrations like Halloween and Christmas, they don't have limited crowds. But the other ones that are true after hour parties, and our team can help you with the difference, they're designed to not have to wait in lines.
And so you get that VIP
It was so fun.
experience
Yeah,
and
it's
ride
cooler
all the rides
in the evening
after.
because Florida's kind of hot. I was there in the summer.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is amazing. This is so fun. So it was great.
That's wonderful. Well, and for this year, you've got obviously more than just Disneyland and Disney World we're traveling to.
Absolutely.
I can book any vacation with Getaway Today.
Yes. I'll just maybe say on our docket that will probably be the most popular this year.
Yeah.
Like we said, we've taught Disneyland and Disney World. Epic Universe at Universal Orlando will for sure be a top seller for 2026. So that's something, if you're looking to go there, let's get you planned.
Yeah.
Also, cruises are still really, really big. There's so many different ships, so many places to experience. That will be a top seller. Beach vacations are those next ones. Close to home, San Diego is always a top seller for us, especially during the month of October. They have kids free at most of the theme parks. And so if you want to just get a really good deal on a family vacation for fall break, it would be smart to maybe plan that now. But in general, San Diego is one of my favorite destinations. We spent a week there in July this last summer, and I'm like, this is just like Hawaii on the mainland. And there's so many fun things to do, like Legoland's so fun. SeaWorld's expanded. They have wonderful roller coasters and just so many educational things. I liked USS Midway, being on top of like a battleship. That was really cool. Riding the Old Town Trolley and seeing just all the history. Like, it was so cute. And there's the best food. And so like San Diego's kind of a forgotten destination sometimes. It's really quite affordable. And it's one of my favorite places to go. So I think that'll be big for this year just because they're investing so much in that destination. And then Hawaii is always popular. And Maui in particular has still not totally recovered from the fires as far as popularity.
Right.
And so there's still some good deals there. So we can help you with that. But if you are a first timer to Hawaii, going to Oahu is always nice because you can see just all the things you want to see, like the Pearl Harbor and Polynesian Cultural Center and hike Waimea Falls and just the things that you're really used to seeing. But Hawaii is always popular. We can kind of guide you to the best seasons for that and the best resorts. Alani is a bestseller for us where Disney owns that.
Right.
That's been great. And then Mexico all-inclusives, those are really popular springtime and wintertime when people want to get out of the snow. We can even get some last-minute deals if people wanted to go pretty soon because there's usually some really great we work with lots of the best resorts there, whether it's families or couples. There's just lots to the experience. It's a lot of fun.
I love it. And obviously you have this amazing resource, right? I mean, hopefully you're all learning from Jen today because she's incredible. But then your website.
Yes.
There's so many tips and tricks and things to learn. Tell us more.
Okay. Yes. All of the things I've talked about, we try to make sure that guests see that just right at their fingertips on our website. We have a blog, our social, are trying to always give you the best tips and tricks to just, first off, get the best value on your vacation. And then second, feel like you're traveling with a pro. And the cool thing is you don't spend any extra for our services. You actually save money, which is so awesome. Like you could book directly through the theme park and you would just pay full price and you wouldn't have someone else with you to help you every step of the way. So we love that people let us be a part of their vacation. And our website, like you said, it just has all those tips to kind of compare things really easily, to do vacation packages is what we're the most known for, but you can also just do a la carte tickets if you have a condo or something else you're staying at or families. But it has really quite easy to compare all these different popular choices all in one spot.
I love that. And obviously, if you're talking with a guest or on your website, mention that you're a member of Mountain America Credit Union, because what does that do?
Yes, the vacations equal donations with Mountain America Credit Union. So with every vacation, a portion goes back to the charity of your choice. We've talked a lot about the Children's Miracle Network and Primary Children's Hospital. That's where they currently are going. But you guys we're so impressed with all that Mountain America does to help our community, and we want to be a part of that success. So we're going to get you a great price. We're going to make sure you know what you're doing when you go, and then we're going to make sure a kid is helped in return as well.
Yeah, I love that. So every time you book at Getaway Today and mention Mountain America Credit Union, you're making a donation.
Yes, and you'll get that best pricing always too.
Yeah,
yes.
I love that. Well, Jen, thank you so much for joining us today.
It was so fun. I love talking travel with you anytime.
Anytime. And, just a quick reminder for everyone, when you book with Getaway Today, mention Mountain America Credit Union. We'll make that donation back.
Absolutely. And you'll get the guaranteed best prices as well. So thank you. Thank you for your partnership.
Yeah, absolutely. And tell us, if we want to get with Getaway Today, where do we go?
Our website, getawaytoday.com, or you can always call us 855-GETAWAY. And I would recommend following us on social at Getaway Today, especially if you're anticipating a vacation to Disney. We will make sure you know what you're doing.
Yeah, all the best tips and tricks if you're following on social media, and your website has all of these things. Just so much resources.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. We've been doing it since 1990. We know what we're doing.
Yeah, you absolutely do. And thanks to all of you for joining us as well. And we will see you on the next episode of Guiding You Forward.